Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, North Metro. I'm Reverend Michael Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
I'm Shiva Boston.
I'm Greg Fawson. We do the producing the broadcast.
I'm Dr. Ernestine Garcia, and I'll be doing the readings today.
I'm Jake Fernandez.
And I am Paul Landsittel, your musical spiriteer for today's service.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So I just invite you to take a deep breath as we recognize the oneness, the allness, the isness that is the divine in, as, and through all that is, as each life, as each tree and flower and animal and insect and everything everywhere, from the tiniest grain of sand to the largest, oldest, farthest star, just all that one power and that one presence. So in that presence, we know that we are one with it and one with all that is. And so I am just so grateful to be present with each and every one who's watching this with us in person, those who are watching us live, and those who tune in later, to know that right where we are is the essence of God. And I know that the service unfolds in ease and grace and effortlessness in each one of us. Here's what needs to be heard today to enlighten and lighten our lives and bring us into alignment with the absolute perfect spirit that we are. Mm-hmm. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. So we have the wonderful pleasure of bringing in Paul Landsittel. He's our special music.
Our musical spiriteer.
Yeah. That's what he is.
That's right.
Here we go. Spiriteer.
Music.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there's still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. there will be an answer. Let it be.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Brings back some
It
memories.
does. We're all singing along with you today because we all know all the words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
it was joyful. Thank you. We'll see you in a bit.
Oh, me.
Yes, it's
Sorry.
always you.
So the mission for the Center for Spiritual Living North Metro is to create an open, accepting learning environment that recognizes and embraces diversity, peaceful resolution to conflict in personal and community relationships, and to help make the world a better place.
So it is.
So it is. So like us and check in on Facebook at CSL North Metro, and check out our website at cslnorthmetro.org. The affirmations and the prayers and the links and the calendar and Reverend Michael's blogs and a bunch of other stuff are all out there. So,
I didn't get you a blind.
well, there's still time. So, and today's title is Everyone Else is Already Taken, and you've already met our wonderful musical spiriteer, Paul Landsittel. And the book is Imperfect, The Gifts of, what is it?
Imperfection.
Yeah. So by Brene Brown. And I was looking for a book yesterday, and then I realized I have this one already. So it's perfect.
In your
It's
Kindle.
wonderful. It might, yeah, on my tablet. So that's me, and we're ready for some affirmations, are we not?
Dr. Ernestine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, you
Yes,
two.
I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Affirmations for the week of March 5th, 2023 by Stephan Anthony. Please repeat after me. My life is filled with love, purpose, and meaning.
My life is filled with love, purpose, and meaning.
Spirit's unique vision reveals itself as the unfoldment of my experiences.
Spirit's unique vision reveals itself as the unfoldment of my experiences.
My oneness and wholeness provides me with peace and contentment.
My oneness and wholeness provides me with peace and contentment.
Every morning, I set the intention to express my oneness with God.
Every morning, I set the intention to express my oneness with God.
I uplift and I am uplifted by the divine presence in everyone around me.
I uplift and am uplifted by the divine presence in everyone around me.
In this moment, I relax and breathe in all good of the universe.
In this moment, I relax and breathe in the all good of the universe.
And together we say,
And
so
so it
it
is.
okay. Today's reading is from the book Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Authenticity is not something we have or don't have. It's a practice, a conscious choice of how we want to live. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. There are people who consciously practice being authentic. There are people who don't. And there are the rest of us who are authentic on some days and not so authentic on other days. The idea that we can choose authenticity makes most of us feel both hopeful and exhausted. We feel hopeful because being real is something we value. We feel exhausted because without even giving it too much thought, most of us know that choosing authenticity in a culture that dictates everything from how much we're supposed to weigh to what our houses are supposed to look like is a huge undertaking. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Mindfully practicing authenticity during our most soul-searching struggles is how we invite grace, joy, and gratitude into our lives. Choosing authenticity is not an easy choice. E. E. Cummings wrote, "To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day to make you everybody but yourself means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never stop fighting. Staying real is one of the most courageous battles that we will fight." And together we say, and so it is.
Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. And speaking of wonderful,
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Paul Anderson.
Yay.
Hey, Paul.
Let there be love for the way we live. Let there be love, the strength to forgive. Let there be love by the power within. Let there be love. Let the healing begin. Oh. Deeper we pray, more we feel alive. Deeper we pray, with the strength to survive. Deeper we pray, farther we go, longer we stay, where God only knows. May our smile be bigger than our face. Let our joy be our saving grace. Deeper we pray, more we let go, longer we stay,
Paul, that was magnificent. Whoa,
Thank you.
that was just amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm like, got to get back to
I
Earth.
know, it's somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah. Did you know that there's nobody in the whole wide world, in the whole universe, that is exactly like you? Well, it's true. It's as true as me looking out this window and seeing life outside of me. There is nothing ever made in any place throughout the universe, one single thing that looks like and is exactly like something else, because God doesn't ever repeat itself. It makes everything in its likeness and image, but that means infinite possibilities. Whatever likeness and image is, it's infinitely so in all things made, created. And if you ask why, then I say, go ask a snowflake, and you'll get your answer. Did you know that? There are 7.5 sextillion grains of sand, and not one of them are the same. Not one single grain of sand is the same. And if you look at a grain of sand through a microscope, they're just beautiful, every single one of them. Yet when we look at a beach or a desert, what do we see? We just see this huge place with sand on it. But you think about that one grain of sand that's especially made for you.
Well, and they each have their own journey as rocks through the ocean,
Right.
to get to that place where they're that grain of sand on the beach.
Yeah, they come from, it's so amazing. So what I know is that within all our differences is our sameness. Mm-hmm. Within all our differences is our sameness. And I mean that by, we're all one with God.
Right.
And we all have this law that we can use and do use, whether we're aware of it or not. And that's our sameness, mm-hmm. that we're one in God. Our uniqueness is so many different ways. When you think of a pair of twins, they call them so-called identical twins. They're not identical. They're not. Because if you just look at their iris, they're completely different. You look at their fingerprints, completely different.
Well, but even I went to high school with two sets of identical twins, and one set was girls and one set was boys. And when you first meet them, it's hard to tell them apart, but you get to know them a little bit. There's differences in their facial expressions. But there's really a lot of differences in their personalities. Like once you get to know them, you just know who you're looking at, because they're unique, even though there's somebody that looks mostly a lot like them.
Yeah, and if you look at your face, one side of your face is different than the other side of the face. So you get these twins, and there's like 4 different sides of a face. Right. And they all make up this thing that to our eyes look the same. I mean, it's incredible. So you're called upon to, how can I say this? To be responsible of expressing your uniqueness. That's a responsibility that we all have, because in our uniqueness is the answer to something on this planet that needs answering. You are the answer to something that needs answering, not just one thing, but many things. And if you're acting out as something that you're not, then you're putting falsehoods into the planetary expression of life. And that's not a good thing. So your responsibility is to be as unique and to embrace it and to live it.
Well,
in
even
its true form.
As much as we're encouraged not to be unique, encouraged not to be different, encouraged not to be ourselves by parents and teachers and society and all kinds of other places. And I think, I know I was impacted by that when I was younger. And I think it took meeting you to actually realize it's like it's really okay to just be me. I'm serious about that.
Well, I spent a lifetime, well, not the whole lifetime, but a lot of my lifetime expressing myself uniquely, but it was painful because I'd go into a school and I'd be like different than everybody else. And I enjoyed that difference, but other people didn't. So it's a challenge sometimes to live your uniqueness. It's not always easy, but it's so rewarding. I got to a place where people would say, I remember the third high school I attended.
I can't even imagine that.
was in Redding, California, and I was kind of like a floppy-haired
You didn't fit in, huh?
surfer dude, and everybody there was like greased hair and Converse tennies, and I had Madras shirts and Madras tennies, and so I was just like this weirdo.
Well,
But
you also had a surfboard on your car in
Yeah.
Reading.
Well, and I met a friend who likes surfing, and we'd go up to what's that lake? Not Lake Shasta, it was a smaller lake, and we would just paddle on our boards on our knees. So I don't need to go back there.
Well, you don't. I'm just emphasizing the difference.
So my point,
Right.
let's see.
Yes.
So what if you went back to a time where something happened in your childhood? And I'm inviting everybody to, if you want to express your uniqueness, find your child and let your child express through you again. Free it to the way it was when it came into this experience. But think of a time when something happened to you that maybe took away a little bit of your childhood and took away a little bit of your uniqueness. We actually did this in a workshop a long time ago. Me and another friend of mine went to it, and they guided us to that time when something happened to us that we gave up a little bit of our childhood. And mine was very clear. I was living someplace in the South. We lived in a trailer because we traveled a lot, and my dad was a musician, and he played at nightclubs, and so we would travel to his different gigs. But anyway, my mother had this man that, this is after my father and mother got divorced, and this man was just so rough to be around because I was used to a musician father who was kind of an artistic way, and this guy was like a soldier, and we just clashed. So one day he said, he told my mom, they got to get rid of those stuffed animals. Me and my little brother had a collection of stuffed animals, and we would play with them as if they were Disney characters. Each had their own voice, each had their own personality, and we played that way like they were puppets. And each stuffed animal was very dear to us because they had their own personality, which was part of ours. Mm-hmm. So he said that, and he said, if they're not gone when I get home, I'm going to burn them in that. It was one of those big
incinerators.
No, it wasn't an incinerator. It was a big thing, like the guys that sing quartets around a big fire. They got, what am I trying?
A barrel.
A barrel. What?
Barrel. Like a low barrel.
Yeah. So anyway, he said he was going to burn them in that. So I told my little brother, we got to do something because we can't allow them to burn. And so we went out into the woods, dug a big hole, and did a funeral for these stuffed animals. And we were crying. I'm kind of feeling it right now.
I'm sure you are.
But we lost a little bit of our childhood.
Yeah.
And the child is so important. It's so very important. I have 3 quotes that mean a lot to me. One's by Fred Roger, Mr. Roger. And he says, one of the most important gifts a parent can give a child is the gift of accepting that child's uniqueness.
Yeah. Well, so let me tell. This one just came up to me like yesterday when we were going through the week figuring out what it's interesting what comes up. I had completely forgotten about this. When I first met Michael, I was really unable to feel any of my emotions. I was just, and a lot of that was a lot of other things, but this came back yesterday when I could have been 4 or 5. My mother used to take a picture of me every time I cried or had a tantrum so that she could use it to show other people to make sure I stopped.
Whoa.
So I had completely forgotten about that. And, I remember when we first started talking, I remembered other times when I had shut myself down to fit in or shut myself down for other things. But it started really early. And I look at my grandchildren and I think, it's really okay when they cry. It's really okay when they have emotions. And I'm so grateful that we're changing as a society to make it okay for us to actually be real people. And I think it's important that I remembered that because it allows me to go, oh, that's where it started. Just like I don't have to be that anymore, and it's okay. But yikes.
So I want to read that quote again because it has something to do with what I want to say. One of the most important gifts a parent can give a child is the gift of accepting a child's uniqueness. And for me, I think it's important for us to become, and we are the mother, father of our own life, and we can encourage ourselves to play more.
Yeah.
How many times do you play? And I don't mean
Me, not much.
I don't mean like adult play, child play. It can be as easy as simple as playing tic-tac-toe with somebody, and just giving yourself the possibility of feeling what it's like to be the wholeness of that child that you are. So for me, it's playfulness. That's the first step in embracing the child. The second step comes from Pablo Picasso. He said, "It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child."
It's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. We have our grandkids paintings on a thing in the kitchen, and you look at it and you see how free it is, how there's no boundaries or anything. It's just free expression, and I think that's an important thing to get to be borderless, to be free of any restrictions or blocks in your heart and your soul, and just paint. You don't have to paint something that's perfect, that looks like something. Just let your emotions go and just paint. Let the colors flow and allow yourself to feel yourself being that child, and allow those thoughts to come up and those emotions to come up. Allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to laugh, allow yourself to feel as you're painting these colors, and watch yourself come alive and watch the painting come alive. So that's another way we can embrace the child. And the third quote is from Gilda Radner. Yeah. And we all know she loves to play. Well, she says, "While we have the gift of life, it seems to me that only tragedy is to allow part of us to die, whether it is our spirit, our creativity, or our glorious uniqueness."
That's the truth.
That is the truth. So, to me, being the child is being spontaneous, allowing your spontaneity to come out. You see a child when they find a rock or a stick or something, to them it's like a treasure. They found this thing and it's so unique, and they're seeing it in such a unique way because they're not bound by anything. They're not having to see it in a certain way. Oh, it's a stick. Well, to them, it's a magic wand, or it's a gun, or whatever. So when you're going through life, if you're out in nature, be open to something calling you. I know for me, when I made a breakthrough in my adulthood, in my 40s, coming to this teaching, I would go to Sedona once a year for a good 7 years, and things would call me. I would be hiking up a trail, and I'd hear something, and not literally hear it, but hear it. You know what I mean? You know that you feel something and it's hearing. It's kind of the same thing. And I'd go and it'd tell me to dig right here, and I would dig, and I came up with this. I remember this one time with this jade turtle, and I was just guiding out here. I'm out in the wilderness, and here's this tiny little turtle sitting in this one little place, and I was guided to it because that was my child being open and spontaneous. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be unique, if you want to live 100% your unique self, find your child. Go back to that time. I was maybe 7 when that happened to me, but it could be any age for you. How old were you?
Well, that particular one, my brother was in the high chair, so I could have been 4 or I could have been 5, probably 4.
Yeah, and just think of that was one incident. Just think of all the other incidents that take place that take you from your uniqueness, something a teacher may say. And I had plenty of things teachers say to me because I was kind of, to survive in going to all the schools, I was kind of a wisecracker. And it wouldn't make any difference if it was in the middle of the class or not. If something came to me, I had to crack it. I couldn't hold it in. And I got to know many a principal. But that's my life. And that's the uniqueness of me. And if you are ready to work on getting to your unique self, work on your child. Allow your child to come alive.
Yeah.
Free him or her.
So I just really was attracted to this particular title this week because that I told you a story, and we all have them. The times in class where we had a really important thing we needed to say, and we got stuck in a corner because of it. I remember in school, I don't think I ever had to do this, but they had a little circle on the blackboard that you'd have to stick your nose in it if you talked too much. I mean, there were things, I hope they're not doing these things anymore, but there were so many things that were really kind of traumatizing, and I don't think we should expect tiny little children to sit in a chair and pay attention all day long. It doesn't make sense. I don't think that's a very good way to learn, and I hope we're doing that better. And I think as we begin to wake up, and I know that my children I don't know about school, but I do know some about school. When my youngest son was in, I think it was 4th grade, he had a teacher that yelled all the time. And I should have pulled him out of school then, but I didn't. I spent a lot of time volunteering in the school trying to make it better. And I talked to the principal about it, and he's like, well, she's going through a hard time. And it's like, yeah, and her hard time shouldn't be my son's problem. So I ended up, and he started having stomach aches and headaches and all kinds of stuff before he went to school. And I know it was because that environment was toxic. I ended up taking him out of school for 2 years, and we did school at home. And when he decided he wanted to go back, we went into the school, we talked to the principal, we interviewed every single one of the teachers that he was going to have. We had it conversation about where he was academically, and he decided to go back to school. And I think he had a completely different experience because he knew, I don't have to stay here if things aren't very good. But also, I knew enough to stay in touch with all of those teachers. And it's like, if you're yelling at my kid, he's not going to be here. And I was really, really clear about that. And I just understand that we need to have those choices to protect ourselves and our kids, and to stand up and say no when things aren't okay. And I loved one of the things Brene Brown said in the book. She said, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. That's just amazing. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. And if we each do that, if we each have wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gifts to bring to the world. And as we begin to realize, wow, you know, my parents didn't know any better, and my teachers didn't know any better, and my bosses didn't know any better, and my coworkers didn't know any better. And guess what? I get to wake up and be me right now and right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's one more I want to read. The beginning of love. This is by Thomas Merton. The beginning of love is to let those we love be perfectly themselves and not to twist them into our own image.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we are only the reflection of ourselves in them. And so I guess what I had to say about that is, when we know better, we do better. Mm-hmm. And so as we all begin to wake up and we begin to let the inner self out, and as we begin to be who we came here to be, and as we begin to allow others to be who they came here to be, and we don't have to agree with everybody, and we don't even have to like the things everybody's doing, but as we begin to realize that there's only that one power and that one presence, and every single thing on this planet and every single thing way, way, way out is all one, from that one mind of that one power and that one presence that creates all that is. And there's value for each and every one of us to be here learning the things that we learn. And so as we begin to shuck off and let go of all that no longer serves us, of all of the things where we felt put down or stuffed down or afraid or not good enough, or I'm sure you have your own, and just really begin to embrace the light of the person that we are and who we came here to be, and understand that we are light and we are love, and we came from light and love, and what we have to do and to say and to be has value to this world. And so I'm just in absolute gratitude for knowing that truth about each and every one of us. Do you have
Who's shuck off me?
like shucking the cord.
Yes, I thought. Yeah, we're just peeling up the layers.
So,
And then when we get past those big leaves, we got all that hairy stuff that we got to deal with. So it's the big things and the little things, and we get to deal with them all in a human way, but from a spiritual perspective. And how powerful is that?
so I'm going to tell, this doesn't have anything to do with anything other than shuck.
Oh,
So we're sitting in the back of the station wagon, and we're on a trip going somewhere, and I got 3 siblings, and we're all humming songs, and we're trying to guess a song. And my sister, who's the youngest, did this thing that sounded kind of like, and we're all like, we're guessing and we're guessing and we're guessing and we're guessing, and we're finally like, we don't know what you're singing. And she's like, it's shucking of the corn. Like, what? I think she was maybe 7. So we actually not too long ago had this conversation, and we looked up Shuckin' of the Corn and heard a couple people singing. It is really a song.
That was her being her uniqueness.
It was. And we just didn't recognize it because none of us knew the song. And I don't know whether she was singing it right or not, but it was funny.
So as you go out into the world, remember the responsibility to yourself, to be yourself.
Yes.
Because when you're yourself, when you're your unique self, and you're moving through your daily experiences, you're giving permission for other people to be themselves, because they can see how free you are, and they can take that and find themselves and free themselves.
Yes.
So go out, play like a little girl, a little boy, have some fun, get yourself dirty. Just be you. You want to pray?
I do. So once again, I just invite you to take a deep cleansing breath, and maybe another one. Just breathing in the love and breathing in the light and breathing in the oneness and breathing in the allness and breathing out any doubts or fears or tiredness or afraidness or aloneness, breathing it all out and just breathing in that love that is everywhere present in our lives, that love that is the essence of who we are, that love that is the allness and the isness, that we are one with. That there is no thing outside of that one power and that one presence and that one life and that one love that we are one with. Not part of, one with. Mm-hmm. So as we recognize that truth about ourselves, that truth that we are absolutely divine, that each one of us is individually divine and here to bring our unique selves and experiences and ideas to the planet. That there is a need for each and every single one of us. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. And so in absolute gratitude, I just recognize all of the personalities and all of the uniqueness and all of the oneness and all of the power and the presence and the love and the light and I know that it's a healing presence to release that which we did not come here to be, and embrace that who is our divine essence, that who is the light within us, just letting that light out and letting that light shine. And so in absolute gratitude to know that this work is done in the mind of God, that there's nothing more for me to do but release it into the light and into the love and into the law and let it be, knowing that it is manifesting into form right here and right now. And so I release it, I let it go, I allow it to be, and together we say, and so it is. Amen, amen, aho, shay. Thank you, and woo-hoo!
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true. This is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true. This is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright, alright, alright.
Yeah. Good follow-up, Paul.
That's awesome.
Thank
Your
you.
explanation to our talk.
That's right.
Thank you. We got one more coming from you in a short period of time, so we're going to call you back when it's ready.
Whoops.
Can you think of any reasons why people should give to this spiritual center?
Well, I can remember when I first started coming to the center where you were the minister. And one of the things that we talked about, probably in foundations class, was giving and receiving and how it's reciprocal.
Mhm.
And so if we're just giving and not receiving, that's not the way. And if we're just receiving without giving, we don't get the whole benefit of it without the giving and the receiving. And so that includes our time, that includes our attention, that includes our money. And so that's just one of the spiritual principles that we learn in this teaching is even if you're needing money, giving helps it come back. That's what the flow is. And when we cut off the flow, then what was that woman's name that talked about how she started tithing when she had, I can't think of her name right now, but she had, like, she was really like even in debt at the time, and she realized that. So she started giving and she started tithing, and then her tithing got bigger and bigger and bigger until she was tithing the full percent, and then it was more than that. And now I don't think she does it anymore. She goes out to all kinds of centers and all kinds of places to teach her skills about money, and she does it for a tithe. She doesn't tell you, I'm going to need this much money when I come there. She tells you, tithe to me on what you get.
She just knows that the flow is with her.
And she teaches it and she lives it. And that's, we have to prove it to ourselves. So that's what I have to say about that. Well, I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay.
So I learned how to give, but I didn't learn how to receive until I got into this teaching. But I do remember one time when my sister was trying to give me something. I was trying to give it back to her. And she's like, this is when you say thank you. And so I think we just have to realize when it's not giving and receiving, whether it's love or whether it's money, we're blocking the flow. And I know we've talked a really lot about how when we block that flow, we're blocking our good. So now I really am done.
Wow.
I think. Just don't ask me to talk.
Yeah. So if you would shine your light towards this basket, which represents our receiving receptacle,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that what you give will end up right in there and come back multiplied to you.
Yes.
So just say this: I give thanks to the Almighty God
I give thanks to the Almighty God
for the abundance and prosperity in my life.
for the abundance and prosperity in my life.
I recognize it as mine. It just flows through me.
I recognize it as mine. It just flows through me.
It goes out and blesses many people
It goes out and blesses many people
and comes back multiplied into my life.
and comes back multiplied into my life.
For this and so much more,
For this and so much
I
more,
say thank you, God.
I say thank you, God.
I let it be,
I
and
let
so it
be,
is.
and so it is. Oh, now it's me. Her name was Edwin Gaines.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you remember. It's like it just took a minute. So I think I should have told them how to give before we did that, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you now. So you can, if you use Venmo, the QR code will come up on the screen in a minute, and you can use that. It's also on the website if you happen to miss it. If you go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org, there you can pay by PayPal or a thing called Subsplash or Venmo. And of course, we take checks and cash. So however you want to give, we're happy to receive and pay it forward.
Yes.
Yes,
Is that it?
that's it.
Paul Landsittel. What has he got for us now?
Can't wait.
I guess we have to wait.
Oh,
I'm changing my mind I'm going to do a different song last here instead of the one I was going to do.
I love when that happens.
me too.
For the spontaneity. In light of today's talk about the child, this song is called Spirit of a Child. Father is looking for his son, someone he played with long ago. He's flying his little spaceship around the living room. Only the spirit of a child gets in. Mother is looking for her little girl, someone she played with long ago. She's hiding away in her little dollhouse. Only the spirit of a child gets in. Only the spirit of a child gets in. I put all my dreams in a treasure box. I got so busy that I lost the key. Gonna find some way to break those locks. But only the spirit of a child gets in. Only the spirit of a child gets in. Only the spirit of a child gets in. Heaven is a place inside my heart, making a home just for me. I take all my troubles and I knock on the door, but only the spirit of a child gets in. Only the spirit of a child gets in. Only the spirit of a child gets in.
Yay.
Awesome.
That was a good change. That was a good change. I don't know what you were planning to sing, but that was perfect.
That's right.
Thank you.
Way to be in the spontaneous
That's right.
flow. Hey, we're all here.
Yay!
Here's the whole gang.
Anybody got anything they want to share?
Well, I'm an artist and I helped on a youth art show this week.
Oh,
And they ranged, the paintings and projects ranged from 4 years old to high school.
oh,
And it just inspired me to let go because just the creativity
Yeah.
and that whole, there were 180 pieces and each one, it's just like, oh my, where did that come from? And
Yeah.
you know, it just comes straight out of their, you know,
Yeah.
creativity. And it's like, maybe I could let go a little and just play.
yeah.
It's up for a month in Louisville Library.
Oh, that sounds like a fun trip.
No, it's
You had lunch maybe too.
yeah.
Okay, we'll do it.
So anybody else? Okay, so I invite you to join us on Zoom right after this service, and we'll have a conversation about whatever anybody wants to talk about. And let's see, if you aren't getting the email with the links to the service, you're probably not here, but maybe you're watching it later. If you sign up on the website for emails, then we'll make sure that you get that. Or you could give us a call. Our phone number's out there too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So join us for Zoom. We have a good time afterwards.
We have a good time all the time.
Yes, we do. All right.
Wanna pray?
I'll pray us out. So one more time, let's just take a deep breath in. I like to do that because it reminds me that the breath is so important. And sometimes when we get nervous, we hold that breath. And so as we concentrate on letting that breath flow in and letting that breath flow out and recognizing that God is in that breath and that God is in the thinking and in the doing and all that we are, that is who we are. And so I just absolutely am grateful for this time together. And I bless each and every person who's present here and now, who watches it later. I just know that blessings and blessings and blessings are coming to and through you. And so in absolute gratitude, I release it, I let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, everybody.
See you on Zoom, I hope.
Yeah. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Right, see you
Play.
later.
Yeah.